All right, so welcome back to our C tutorials. And in this tutorial, we are going to cover arrays. So simply, an array is a collection of elements of the same type. For example, you can see here we have an array of type integer, which will store 5 data elements. This one could store something like 10, 20, 30, 40, and 15. These are 5 data elements. So an array is always a collection of data elements of the same type. For instance, here, when you want to pick an item in an array, we usually start with index 0. So 10 is 0, index 0, 20 is index 1, 30 is index 2, 40 is index 3, and 15 is index 4. So our array has 5 elements. The array size is 5, and then the array name is A, and then the array is of type integer. So in this case, I'm going to move straight to our C programs, and we will see how we can create a program that will help us to be able to do that. Previously, you can see we have all the other videos that we have been having in other sessions, but now we are going to have a program which calculates the average of n numbers which a user enters, and therefore we are going to create a program to help us do that, and as a result you'll have learned what are arrays in C. So I'll create using nano. I call it average.c. So from there I'll have the hash include stdio.h, the standard input output header file. From there I'll have the int main. From there I will declare an array of type A, of type integer, which is of size, let's say 20 elements. And then I will have a counter I, and then I will have n that will store the number of elements that I will enter in the screen, and then I will have the n, which will be helping me to see that the user will say I want n numbers, and then that one will be stored inside be 5 numbers, and then we loop through that. So again, within the sum, of course, you can have the float average. So from there, I will allow the user to printf, enter the number of elements, and then I will scanf, receive a format specifier for an integer. I will receive the number of elements in this case. Remember, we said that arrays usually start at 0. Therefore, we can have, let's say the user enters something like 5 numbers. Our condition here is that you are specifying an exact size or discrete size of 20. Therefore, we must enter a number between 0 and the n must be between 0 and 20 for that matter. So in this case, I'll say for I is equals to 0, I less than, remember it starts with the 0th index. So as we are reading this, we are reading from the 0th index all the way up, less than the n that the user enters. Because if n is 5, then the last index is 4. That's why we are saying I less than n, I plus plus. So for this case, I'll come and scan and printf, tell the user to start there, maybe the first or the second element. And then this will be I plus 1, because the index itself will be 1, the element will be in position 1 ahead of the index itself. So from there, let's scanf, and I will receive my A, which is A, and then I'll specify I. Remember, I will keep on incrementing, starting from 0. From there, we can have sum plus will be given by a I. So sum will be given is equals to sum plus AI, and therefore sum must have been initialized here to 0 for that matter. So that now the first time sum is equals to 0 plus AI, where AI now is the first element that the user enters in, and it will keep on repeating like that. So from there, you can come and calculate the average, which will be given by typecast or float the sum divided by n, and I'll come and print to the screen the sum is d, and the float on the average is I'll use the format specifier. I will use the columns and 2 decimal places for my float. Now the sum, the percentage d is the sum, and the average is the float, which will be given to 2 decimal points. And then I'll return my 0. I'll end the program there. Let's compile it, see what it works. I'll say gcc average.c output the average file. Okay, things seems to have run well. Therefore, I'll simply run the average, enter the number of elements. I'll say 5, enter element 1, 20, element 2, 21, element 3, 22, element 4, 23, element 5, 24. Sum is 110, the average is 22.0. Remember, you can have a bit of formatting if you wish. So nano average. Let's see, when the user enters the number of elements, you can allow this to move to a new line using the escape sequence there. And then the number of elements, and then they will start entering the number of elements. Enter elements. This can be having some space there. Let's save. I'll recompile. Enter the number of elements, 5. Enter element 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and you can see the sum is 60 and the average is